Daksha Gehani, a student in the School of Design and Architecture, Manipal Academy of Higher Education, Dubai. Today, I would like to introduce my research topic and its contents, completed with the guidance of my mentor, Assistant Professor Shaghi Nair. It is titled A Biophilic Ecosystem, the Integration of a New City Habitat. Cities throughout time are known as man-made environments wherein the urban metabolism lacks greatly. While we have tried to reconnect with nature in the form of sustainability, focus remains on the human aspect of urban morphology with mere green pockets sprinkled across the urban fabric. The real question and its subsequent answer, however, is whether a city and the natural environment can not only coexist but breathe using each other through biophilic urban design principles. The pandemic has raised questions on the inadequacies of the economic system globally, its root cause being cities themselves and their inability to be self-sufficient. A biophilic and resilient city ecosystem has the potential to change that. The aim is to explore the concept and method of an integrated built environment between human beings and flora within the context of a city, the direction of understanding the biophysical components of a city and how conventionally built cities impact the environment while their functioning impinges on people as well. Mankind and flora together create an integrated habitat which through the help of biophilic design creates a new city. The question is whether this can become the key premise and methodology in order to battle the ongoing climate crisis as well as stay resilient to the unknown future like natural disasters and bouts of pandemics. Creating an integrated open system of living things wherein humans and flora interact with three key aspects: the physical environment, nature and climate. Moving on to the literature review. As a background study, the real questions are whether the system is viable enough. Is it adaptable enough to battle the climate crisis? Is it flexible enough, and does it have the resources to react to situations like a pandemic? Using these questions as opportunities to adapt such ecological and relevant viewpoints to cities is what will create a new urban ecosystem. And that is how we arrive at discovering what modern city planning has been like. It has certainly evolved from 18th and 19th century counterparts, but have they evolved enough to create a new functioning mechanism? To be more accurate, it has evolved in aspects that best give out profits from private activities. And while proposals for smart cities have been drafted up, are they really enough? The 21st century has experienced a number of ordeals, ranging from natural disasters to the burning of the Amazon rainforest and to a worldwide pandemic. This creates a need to constantly up and improve the dynamic of innovation to battle such changes, something a resilient and biophilic city can do. The power of nature. As per the book written by Richard Louv, titled The Last Child in the Woods, children today suffer from nature deficit disorder, and while we can argue it might be due to video games, the root cause and the discussion that should be up is whether it lies with us as adults who have built cities that reduce their opportunities at an active and green life. Harvard mycologist and conservationist E.O. Wilson popularized the term biophilia 2 decades ago to describe the extent to which humans are hardwired to need connection with nature and other forms of life, meaning nature is a necessity, not an option. The presence and accessibility. Ideally, biophilic interventions create a web-like structure of nodes that have a significant impact on day-to-day life, supporting personal and community health. Such spaces are strongly appealing to people of all ages, which benefits personal motivations as well as fuels economic factors. The level of engagement. In recent times, we have started to deprive ourselves of organic and real experiences in exchange for boxed comfort and convenience. Exercise machines have taken out the experience of a real hike. Online books have taken out the adventure of bookstores. The very idea of being connected to nature is a psychological one, and in order to enforce and encourage that connection, efforts have been made by many countries across the world in the form of introducing new biophilic design policies, initiatives, and programs. We have started off with generic design elements across scales varying from regional to a building level, and then graduated to specific benefits using the detailed design principles used across various public elements. As we explore what a resilient city is and what the word resilience means, sustainability has emerged over the past few decades, first as a concept, then as a theoretical ideal, and finally as implemented design policies, marking its footprint permanently. While it has gained traction, resilience has emerged as a parallel concept and urban aspiration, especially due to the increasing effects of climate change. The increasing volatile climate and the natural hazards or disasters together create transmutations and fluxes within the global economic system, something that a resilient city can change. Directing cities towards becoming biophilic cities will foster potential pathways to make them resilient. Some pathways are direct, like restoring wetlands or planting extreme climate-tolerant vegetation, which leads to reduced summer temperatures and reduced flooding, etc. Others are more indirect, like walking or encouraging cycling, which enhances the resilience of households and individuals to cope and adapt easily to climate changes. From there, we head on towards the challenges. Integrating such an approach into city building will lead to many obstacles in waiting, ranging from social, cultural, and economic to legal factors. These are common factors, and others are unique to each city based on location, density, resources, etc. And those are an even bigger hurdle to overcome. However, on the flip side, these challenges can become a pivotal point for a city. For example, Singapore has a need to be an ever-evolving, internationally competitive and design-advanced city that attracts potential investors and tourism, which has led to the creations of many such projects like Gardens of the Bay. Berlin has a need, however, to balance increasing urban density and requirements for public expected green spaces. Melbourne, on the other hand, has a need to mitigate urban heat island effect and battle climate change, which they plan to do so by increasing their tree canopy cover to 40%. This allows solutions to tackle two issues at once, the challenge to implementing the approach and another factorial problem within the city. In a pandemic, however, it has made us realize that the current global economy relies heavily on long supply chains and trade. A circular bioeconomy solves that by creating a healthy, biodiverse, and resilient ecosystem alongside sustainable well-being through the provision of relevant services and management of those services. As shown, a biophilic economy model uses nature and renewable energy to reinvest itself back into the economy and meet all important fields of investment and well-being, allowing a city to grow into itself and thrive. This becomes a bioeconomy that centers primarily around people and nature and their consequent and genetically deep connection to it. The nature and experience of a biophilic city. How can we go about it? A circular bioeconomy creates a city that integrates itself within the environment in such a way that the city is built into the nature and not the other way around. Such design can be approached through either direct experience like light, water, air, indirect experience like natural colors, biomimicry, natural materials, etc., and experience of space and place, using perhaps transitional spaces, mobility, wayfinding, etc. Touching upon tentative approaches that can lead us through such a city. Refocusing indicators. Tackling the topic on a regional and national level. In this approach, a new main indicator is created using sustainable development goals and other relevant materials in order to gauge the functioning of a new economic model, the circular bioeconomic habitat. Pilot testing. Pilot initiatives are necessary in order to work out flaws in the gear relevant to the ecological conditions of the city and other unique factors. Mimicry. Creating a city that learns from, mimics, and is modeled after natural systems in its functioning, which in turn will make it much more self-sufficient. Experiencing and investing. Investing in models that encourage appealing experiences leads to increase in usage, whose benefits flow right back into the city. And an indirect example would be the Diriyah Gate project in Saudi Arabia, wherein a historical site is engaged through appealing experiences primarily with nature, and it allows other fields of investment, profit, and experience to open up, like hotels, food, etc. To bring about a discussion on this, while this is still an emerging process, it embeds into society an integrated, interdependent system that pursues balance and prosperity rather than maximization of production and consumption. A city that values social and natural dimensions as national wealth is especially relevant in a post-COVID-19 world, allowing us to rethink, regrow, and evolve its processes for the current and future generations. I would like to express my gratitude to my professor, Ms. Shaghi Nair, for her guidance throughout the entire project, and to my parents as well for their never-ending support. Lastly, I have a list of references for my paper. And thank you.